We're also streaming from that SuperTalk Mississippi app. Of course, you can always find us too on your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. But don't forget about watching us. We are on SuperTalk TV. That's on your computer or your mobile device. And if you're looking for something fun to do this weekend, there's always something going on here in Mississippi. Today we got Miss Kathy Smith. She is an alderman in Flowood, Mississippi, and they're gearing up for their Flowood Family Festival that's starting May 11th, which I just said, gosh, I can't believe we're in the middle of May, Kathy. How did we get here so fast?
I don't know. It's come and gone. We're almost to the summer.
We're almost to the summer, which means, though, that all of these fun activities are starting up. And I didn't realize that, I guess, this all started back a while back. So how many years have y'all been doing something like the Flowood Family Fest?
Well, my husband was born and raised in Flowood, and they did air shows when he was a kid.
That.
So, they've done some type of festival in Flowood for years, but the actual Flowood Family Festival started in 1999. And so we had to skip a year for COVID, so we're celebrating our 24th anniversary of the Flowood Family Festival this year.
What do you think keeps people coming back 2 decades later?
It's free.
So tell me how you really feel.
It's free, and it's safe, and it's good, just clean family entertainment. We always have some type of country or Christian artist. We have tons of food vendors, and it's just a really, safe, clean environment where you can go and bring your lawn chair, get out on the lawn with your kids and let them run around and play. Lots of kids' activities out there. And so it's just a good way for the parents to relax while the kids, wind down some energy in the bouncy houses and get their face painted and grab some balloons.
So walk us through the festival. So it starts May the 11th. Now, does it run through multiple days, or is it just the one day?
It's just the one day. And the gates open at 4. We kick it off with, of course, the national anthem, and the guard comes from the high school to do the flag ceremony. So that's the first few minutes. And then Light of Mine, which is a mother-daughter group out of McGee. They do Christian music, and they'll perform for the first 45 minutes. And then Jace Powell, who's actually an alderman in Gluckstadt, who is a DJ on the side.
Okay.
So he comes and does a few hours of DJing for us, and that's always a great time. And then at 6:30, Ann Wilson, not the Ann Wilson of Heart, but the young Christian artist Ann Wilson. She's so cute and so fun and just super talented. So she'll take the stage at 6:30, and then she'll perform for a while, and then the main act is Casting Crowns, and they take the stage at 8:45.
Which I think will be a draw for a lot of people. You mentioned that it's free. So is that one of those things where you got to get there, get your lawn chairs or your picnic blankets, or I guess they could be, your blankets sort of set up in time to have the position that you want to for these different acts?
There are people who come early to do that, and that's what I would do. That's what I do. I get my husband to bring some chairs while we're working, and and get them set up when those gates open, so to have a good seat. And I see tons of people doing that, and then they run back to the food vendors. This year, 20 food vendors, half of which are like brick and mortar restaurants in Flowood who are coming out to participate. So that's super exciting. But anyway, run back and do all the kid activities, or grab some food, a snow cone, some ice cream or something, and you kind of reserved your spot out there on the lawn. So that's preferable to me.
So for those who may not know exactly where we're talking about, where is the Flowood Family Festival?
So it's at Liberty Park, which is right behind the YMCA in Flowood on Liberty Road.
Which is easy to find, great parking, all those other things. What are some other good tips and tricks you got, Kathy, if someone wants to come out and enjoy it for the first time?
I would say definitely bring a chair. Usually, you and I were just talking right before we went on the air about the weather this week, and usually we always have this the Saturday before Mother's Day, and within a day or two of that, we get a heavy rain. Sometimes it's the day of. Most of the time, knock on everything, most of the time it clears out, no problems, but the ground sometimes is still wet when you get out there. So even though if it were a little bit drier, blankets would be awesome, I would say bring a chair, because, you don't want to be on the wet ground with a blanket.
And then dress your kids accordingly.
Yeah, dress your kids accordingly. If it rains today and it moves on out, we'll be fine. But if it doesn't rain until Thursday or Friday, if you wear flip-flops and stuff, you may get your feet a little nasty.
You
so
get a
maybe
little grass in your toes, something like that.
Maybe a little good pair of tennis shoes, something of that nature, just to keep your feet dry.
You mentioned vendors, Kathy. Is it going to be just food vendors, or will there also be like fun shopping, arts and crafts, or is it more of...
It's just everything in the kid area is free. So there will be little demonstrations of like from local martial arts schools, anything from, I think we have a real estate agent that's doing like a cool down tent. There'll be face painting out there, maybe some balloons, stuff of that nature in the kid area, and that's all free. But we do have the food vendors, 20 of those, and then this year there's no arts and crafts that will be out there. We have several things throughout the year with different arts and crafts stuff throughout the city, so there's not any arts and crafts at this particular event.
So this truly is a family festival. Come and bring the whole family, set up shop, relax, listen to some good music, fellowship. That's the vibe I'm getting.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to talk about Flowood in general, Miss Kathy, because we got folks from all over listening to good things. It's one of those that many have, like coming from Starkville, wherever, driven through or by or around or come for shopping. You guys have really been, everybody's been growing over the last several years, but I would say Flowood has also been growing in the right ways over the last several years. What do you attribute that to?
I think that's the forward thinking of the generations before us. I'm on city council, but we've had the same mayor in Flowood for almost 40 years, and
I did not know that. Wow!
And he's done a great job. And Flowood is very business friendly, and he always says, what's good for families is good for business, and what's good for business is good for families, and that's kind of been the motto that we've worked under in the 16 years that I've been on city council. And I think that it attracts families, it attracts a safe environment that attracts businesses, and we try to make it easy for them to come in and set up and get a lot of community support.
If folks haven't visited Flowood in a while, maybe they do travel through, but they don't necessarily stop, or maybe they do have trips coming up in terms of like baseball, softball, soccer. Lord knows that y'all are also a hub for like a lot of that as well. What would you say about stopping in and making Flowood where you eat, stay, and play?
Oh, goodness. There's so much to do in Flowood. Of course, our Sheraton is just beautiful, and it's got the nice rooftop where you can look out all the way. You can see always St. Dominic standing on that rooftop, and it's got a little lazy river out there. It makes me feel like I'm somewhere else on vacation in another state. Even going up there for a meeting or something and looking out, I'm like, wow. We're in
Is
Flowood.
there a restaurant on the rooftop?
There's a rooftop bar, and they allow you to order food from the restaurant, and they bring it up. So it's really
It's
nice.
a nice staycation.
Yeah, and we've got the #1 art gallery in the state is in Flowood. That's the Pacesetter Art Gallery, Miss Carrie Davis, and we also have a lot of First. We have the First Smalls, which is the slider burger joint that moved out there. We opened it a few months back, and they've done great. They reached out.
Yeah, they've done great. It took a while for you to you'd have to wait an hour and a half in a fast food line to even get through it, or I guess quick serve line to get through to it.
Right. So several restaurants that this was the first one in Mississippi. That one was the first one in Mississippi. So it's a Louisiana chain, and it's been like that for the last few things that we've opened. It's been the first one in Mississippi. So for several things in a row, which is exciting. Very exciting times in Flowood. Aldi's, yes, that was great. We had to wait a few years, but COVID hit in the middle of them getting ready to build and all of that. But they're open. That's a wonderful store, and it's a quick in and out store too. Like you don't feel like going to the big box store, and you're gonna have to it's gonna take an hour to get everything you need and get out. And Aldi's is like a little good like run in run out store.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
A lot of folks do come to shop and eat there in Flowood, but what about in terms of family, like moving there in terms of a home, great neighborhoods, schools, all the things?
Sure. We've got, we have everything from starter homes all the way up to estate neighborhoods in Flowood. Flowood's a great place to live.
Where can we find out more information about coming to the Flowood Family Festival? Maybe that's our first gig of coming back and seeing Flowood differently through a different lens. Kathy, where will we go to get all that information?
Facebook's a great place to start. We've got it's labeled in Facebook 2024 Flowood Family Festival, and that'll pull up all the information they need. They can always call the city or call the Chamber of Commerce if they're not on social media, and they can provide the information to them. But we're May the 11th, Liberty Park, start time 4 p.m., and go through the lineup that I described with Light of Mine, the DJ, Ann Wilson, casting crowns, and then we end with a huge fireworks show.
Well, you left the best for last then.
Yeah, it's a huge fireworks show. It's so beautiful, and it lasts from about 9:45 to about 10 o'clock, and then it clears out.
That's perfect timing and not too late for the kiddos. Y'all really did make it a true family festival. I appreciate your time, Kathy, and you guys stick with us. We got more for you coming up next.